Hey, what's going on? It's Jason Lucchese and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm so excited that you are here. If you are brand new to the channel, make sure that you become a subscriber so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. We're going to be covering a very hot topic here. I believe this is one of the most asked for videos that we do. We always cover stuff on REOs and folks out there just love it. And today is going to be brand new information on REOs that you could use. And one of the things I wanted to show you, this is going to be cheesy, but we're going to be showing you with the compass on how to go to the spot where all the REOs are going to be going. Mike, you just saw the compass. I'm sure you probably have something smart to say to me, but just, Mike's here with us right now. So Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good, folks. I'm doing good. And I'm really glad. I'm so glad that Jason opened up that little thing that was sitting on his desk, because that was one of the first things that I saw on his desk. And I was very curious. It looks like a couple of hockey pucks stacked on top of each other. And but now I know it's a compass. And I know it's going to show us the way. So Jason, show us the way.
It is. It's going to show us the way. And plus, you can't say anything bad about the compass. My mom bought it for me for my birthday this past year, Mike. So,
well, I actually don't remember if I said anything bad about it. I kind of was just curious about what it was. So, Jason, it's the compass that's going to lead us to the topic today. Jason, Captain, take us away.
All right. Well, let's hop into it. In the past video that we actually just did for you guys, talking about landlords, and right now is such a huge time. Well, one of the things that we didn't dive into on that last particular video is what's going to happen with a lot of these folks that are going to get foreclosed on because individuals aren't paying their bills. Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be a flood of REOs that are going to be storming the market. And if you know how to get in correctly with the banks, the institutions that a lot of these individuals have their mortgages with, especially the ones that are over leveraged, right, Mike? They may have gotten in, somebody sold them. I know there's a big YouTuber out there that, did a big scam here in Indianapolis. And then, once he was starting to get investigated, he left and moved his family over to the Philippines or somewhere over there to where he can't be indicted. But he sold a lot of crappy properties to people, and that's actually happening all across the country. If you don't know who he is, he's kind of a slime ball, and we don't really like dealing with slime balls. So today is going to be talking about how we could help these folks out and help them out in a way to where a lot of these individuals that went in and sold these people on a dream of being able to have monthly cash flow coming in every single month. That's what we're going to talk about on today's video, so that you could find these folks before that the property hits the market. Because Mike, how big is it? You deal with the cash buyers quite a bit. How big is it when the cash buyers see a property that's completely off market? Do they get completely excited, or how do they get, Mike?
Well, let's take a look and see how things work right now with Facebook, the internet, and social media being what it is. When a property is off market, what we're talking about is a property that you have that nobody else knows about, okay? Not one that's you've connected with a few investors and it's been an off-market property that's been passed down, from person to person. When you bring them a truly off-market, hey, I've got something that nobody else has seen, generally you have an offer before the property they even had a chance to see it. They want to make sure that they are the first times. They'll put their money up and they'll give you a proof of funds. They'll give you whatever you need just to be the first ones on that block.
No, that's true. And they are willing to pay top dollar. Even if you haven't watched any of the hedge fund videos that we did, I just recently did a hedge fund video talking about these individuals are buying like crazy right now. They're paying anywhere between 90 to 95% of the actual value, which is crazy. So one of the things that we want to talk to you about right now is how can you go after some of these individuals that are more than likely going to get foreclosed on? Maybe you haven't been able to reach out to them in a pre-foreclosure stage, or maybe you didn't reach out to them before they hit the pre-foreclosure stage. Maybe you're right there to where, hey, it just got foreclosed on. The best way to find out some of the information for your upcoming foreclosures, like auction dates, because right now counties are moving forward with their auctions. Isn't that right, Mike? We just found out, a lot of our students that are in our tax delinquent blueprint, they're continuing. And even New York is continuing on, because right now, like you would think New York probably wouldn't do that, especially for property taxes, but they're proceeding forward. You could go buy those property taxes and turn them into lien certificates, deed certificates, all that type of thing. So
no, you're right. It's the beginning of October right now. We're in the early end of October, and I've been talking with students across the country because we do a lot with tax delinquents. We partner up with students that are across the country and help them with their tax delinquent properties as well as our own. Now, as far as our own here in Indiana, tax sale is still on. And we've been asking this question since all this stuff went down. I've been contacting the county every so often, asking, hey, has there been any notification and delay of the county and delay to the tax sale? From the very beginning, they've said, hey, there's nothing here to indicate that we're delaying the tax sale up until last month, until the tax sale is coming up here in just a few weeks. So they're still proceeding forward. Now, there have been some counties where they're still delaying things, and that's, handful. I'm saying, when I say handful, I mean one student here and there will tell me of one county they've contacted that says, yeah, we're delaying our tax delinquents or our tax sale. But most counties, they are still going, including like Jason said, New York, one of those that got hit the hardest.
Yeah, New York's going because we have a student in there, and she's trying to move as quickly as possible so that she could reach out to these folks, but they're still going. So the main reason why I was bringing that up is when there is a foreclosure auction happening, the best thing that you could do, and Mike deals with a lot of this stuff, especially with going onto some of the county websites and finding out when the auction dates are happening. The best thing that you could do is call your county. And Mike, who's one of the individuals that they would call down there to find out like when an actual auction is happening? I'm talking for like REOs, because we just talked about the tax one, and that's kind of like a different department. But who are you going to be calling to find out, like, hey, how do I navigate the website? How do I get the list? Because when it's 30 days out, you can get the list of those REO auctions.
So yeah, you're going to reach out to the county recorder 9 times out of 10, maybe the city clerk, but you'll start with the recorder and ask, hey, you know what? I was trying to find information on your website. Where would I go to find out if a property is heading for upcoming foreclosure auction, or where would I find this information out, and have them direct you through on the website. You may need to contact the city clerk and ask them. Right now, one of the challenges I guarantee a lot of you will come across is offices getting a hold of somebody. And this isn't just something that's working against you. This is working against the homeowner, the people that are facing foreclosure, the people that are facing losing their home. That's actually working more against them than against you. So contact the city clerk or the county recorder to get started.
Yeah, that's really two great areas for you to start on. Especially, I would give them a call instead of just going on the website and trying to find it yourself, because a lot of these government state websites, they're going to be extremely hard to navigate unless you actually call them and somebody could walk you through exactly where you want to find that information out. So typically it's going to be about 30 days before the actual auction happens. Now, this is where the juicy part is going to put into play here. And make sure you give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the information so far. That would really help us out quite a bit, especially with smashing down on that YouTube algorithm and getting this video out to more people so that they can offer help, they can offer assistance to people that are facing difficult times right now. A lot of people are, we all are, we're facing a lot of big roadblocks, and the only way to get through that is by helping one another. So the big thing here that I wanted to really let you know is when these banks are going to go to foreclosure, what's going to happen is you're going to have 30 days to really find out the information that you need. Now, the top 20, top 25 banks, you're not going to really be able to do anything unless you have deep pockets. And what do I mean by that, Mike? You probably need to have 9 figures as a proof funds letter for you to even take a look at any of the top 20, top 25 banks would be able to show you. Now, where you're really going to be able to have your bread and butter at is when you're looking at the actual auction date and you're looking at the individual's information. So let's just say you're looking at Bob Schmo's information. You could go on to the county website and you could look up that information for Bob, and you could find out who the mortgage holder is. Once you find out who the mortgage holder is, the best thing to do at that particular standpoint, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, the best thing that you can do, there's 2 websites. So I would go to Bauer Financial, okay, and Mike's gonna put the information right here. He loves putting up all that information there, by the way. So BauerFinancial.com, and you can look up the individual bank information. You could get a phone number, but we're going to take it a step further here. Mike and I have been going over this information for years, teaching it to folks with LinkedIn. You could take that bank name let's just say it's a state level bank or a regional level bank. So it's a smaller level bank. You put that information up on LinkedIn, and now, Mike, you could find employees on LinkedIn. So what do people have now? What do they have as a leg up?
Now they have all their contact information, the person you want to reach at the bank. Now you can find the very specific individual, and oftentimes their email, maybe a direct phone number, a way to reach that person instead of trying to go through the channels that everyone else is going through.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm going to post for you here that's going to be down in the description section is we actually have a really cool video to where we did a complete walkthrough on how to find like hedge fund people, bankers, all these types of things, credit unions. You're going to be able to find that information. So if you want a complete walkthrough on how to use the LinkedIn strategy that we're talking about, I would highly recommend it. And like Mike was saying, once you have that mortgage information, you can find out how many employees work at that particular institution. The great thing is, let's just say there's 200 or 300 individuals that are on there. One of the best things that you can do is once you have that list, I would find somebody that's in a role of an asset manager, loan risk officer. You want to find somebody that's in some sort of an REO department, and then you could really start taking it to the next level from there. Once you start weeding through who you want to get into contact with, that's going to be where a lot of the magic happens. And what do I mean by the magic happens? Well, once you start connecting with those folks that are on LinkedIn, the best thing for you at that point is you could reach out and connect with them. You could find out what groups they're in. Once you could find out what groups they're in, you could find out more personal information from them. The one thing though that's going to keep you from being able to get that personal information, I give you a bunch of messages in the video that you can use in the description below. You could use those templates and you could just use them in your business. So duplicate it, use it. I want you to feel empowered with this particular strategy. So once you could start finding the people that are in the positions at the bank that you need to contact, that's going to be the best, because 9 times out of 10, as of right now, you're not going to be able to get in contact with the correct decision maker. We're giving you that information right now so that you could get in contact with the decision maker. And 9 times out of 10, these properties that are going to auction, they're not going to sell. The bank's going to buy them back. Why? Because they're looking for a certain dollar amount, but what they don't know is what they don't know. And if we're boots on the ground here and we know more than they do, and we could get in contact with somebody in the REO department, such as an asset manager or a special assets manager, we're going to be able to take it a step further and talk to them at a much more intelligent level. And you want to do this now. You want to start building these relationships now before they pass it off to a real estate agent, and that real estate agent's going to go ahead and list it.
You got to know, you got to think. Banks know what's happening right now. And so these individuals that you're going to be reaching out to, I guarantee you at this moment, they're planning for, okay, you know what? I'm going to have this huge list of assets I'm going to have to get rid of, these unperforming assets that are no longer viable for our books. I need to release that capital for something else. They might not be doing it right at this moment, but I guarantee you it's in the back of their minds. It's in the planning. They're probably having meetings talking about, hey, what are we going to do with all these underperforming assets or whatever. I don't know what goes on in the back room of an asset manager meeting. I really don't. But I know, having conversations with them, that, you know, having these properties on their books is a huge stress, not just for the bank, but for the people breathing down their neck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It poses a big problem. So what we're doing is we're coming in, we're solving a gigantic problem to where they don't have to pay, and no offense to the real estate agents at all, but paying the 6% or 5% commission to these individuals, they want to try and avoid that as much as possible. They want to avoid, having to pay their attorneys, all this time that it would possibly the property would sit on the market. They don't want to pay for that. So if you could come in, offer a solution, give them an offer right off the bat, they would more than likely entertain that compared to listing it on the market, getting a bunch of junk offers. They would rather talk to a human being like you, especially the state level and regional level banks. They would totally 100% rather talk to somebody like yourself compared to just going ahead and listing it on the open market, and then they have to pay for utilities to be potentially turned on, and then if they don't turn them on, they could potentially have flooding issues, which happens a lot in a lot of those REO properties. You tend to walk in them, you could smell the mold right off the bat, and what happens, there's black mold everywhere. Next thing you know, that bank's going to take a huge bath because they have to now pay for mold remediation unless they're going to take a gigantic discount on what they're trying to ask for the property. So Mike, before we go ahead and part here, do you have any parting words on the information that we shared today? Especially right now, it's huge with getting discounted REO properties. And I feel like we went ahead and shared exactly how to do that with capitalizing right now with being able to get in front of folks, especially a lot of these landlords are going to be losing their properties with this 12-month moratorium that just got passed.
Yeah, you know what? Banks are really good at running numbers, okay? So think about that. If they have an asset and they're looking at, okay, we can either hold on to this thing and try to sell it ourselves, and we're going to pay out the commission, we're going to pay out the attorney, it's going to cost us X amount of dollars, or we can go ahead and get rid of it really quick to somebody who's not even asking for any of this stuff. He's just going to buy it as is. You know, they're really good at making that deduction. So it's not even like a sales pitch to them. You don't have to pitch them any sort of sale. It's just, hey, here's what I can do. You know, here's what we're doing. Here's, you know, on average, how much we pay or how quickly we can close. And they're going to look at the numbers and get back to you on that. Second thing, you know, like if you haven't done this already, go to 2dayblueprint.com. Jason Lucchese, Jason Palliser, we'll spend 30 minutes talking to you. You know, I don't know, between the two of you, I know Palliser's been working with hedge funds and stuff for about 16 years. We've got a lot of knowledge when it comes to working with hedge funds, what they're looking to hear. We've done a video not too long ago where we actually talk about how you talk to bankers. What is it they want to hear when you're talking about putting together investment capital and stuff? So we know what they need to hear. So book a call, 2dayblueprint.com. We'll spend 30 minutes going over your business and talking a little bit more on how you can actually dive into connecting with banks and hedge funds. But right now, just watching this video, you have enough to go to LinkedIn and find one local asset manager with a local bank and see if you can connect with a direct assets manager, a special assets manager, whoever. Look up different titles. Jason, I don't know if you're going to put some in the description. There's a few different titles that we go through, but search up a couple, contact them and just say, hey, you know what? I'm an investor here, and I was actually just reaching. I saw we're both in a couple of the same investment groups. I saw you're working at this bank. I didn't know if you guys are, you know, coming across any properties. I've actually been looking for a few in this area, and here's what I do, and just kind of take the conversation from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was saying, I'm going to put in the description area that you're going to be able, and also I'm going to put it as a pinned post that you could take a look at the messaging, a complete walkthrough of what we do on LinkedIn so that you know exactly what to say, have the verbiage of what to say. And when you're talking to these folks too, like Mike was saying, it's really important that you know what you're saying. So one of the big things too is, like, if you're dealing with them directly through email, or if you're dealing with them directly through phone, one of the things, this is a real key point when it comes to making offers. The big thing that I would ask is, what percentage are you looking to receive on fair market value of this particular asset? That's going to go a long way. Use that. That's going to go a big distance for you. If you want to talk more about it, head on over to 2dayblueprint.com. We would love to have a conversation with you. If you really enjoyed today's video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure, if you're not a subscriber, which is kind of silly if you're not already, make sure you become a subscriber of the channel. We would love to have you. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because what that notification bell does is it notifies you of whenever we put out new content just like this. You could be alerted, you could go to it right away. And the great thing with what we do on YouTube with these videos, you don't need to actually be watching from a visual standpoint. Yes, there's going to be some things that we recommend that you do, but you could listen to this in your car ride home. You could listen to it when you're working out. You could listen to it maybe if you're taking a walk around the block. So you could be doing that. You don't need to be watching the whole entire time. Like this particular video, you could be listening to it on your car ride home, or maybe you're going to drop the kids off at sports or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of ways that you could be really getting the knowledge that you need so that you could properly pivot with everything that's going on right now. We want to be able to give you the help that you need, the guidance that you need. And if you feel like you're getting that from us, make sure you become a subscriber. Make sure you become a subscriber. Drop a comment below if there's anything that we can do to help you. And we'd love to get your feedback, especially on today's video. If you want information on how to talk to the hedge funds or anything like that, make sure you drop a comment below and say, hey, I'd love to have the hedge fund script. It's the same script that you would essentially use for talking the banks as well. So if you want that, I'll go ahead and drop that if you just request it. So just say, hey, great content, love it. Can I please get the script? And then I'll go ahead and share it with you. But other than that, hey, have a great day. I will talk to you later. I'm Jason Lucchese, and I am signing off. Talk to you later. Bye.